Bob Shepton, who is nowhere near the Northwest Passage at the moment, but he's probably in the coldest part of the world at the moment, in about 20 miles, no, 40 miles up the road. Bob, say a few words. Welcome.
Great to see everybody and to meet up with some of you whom we've met before, and wonderful that you're doing the Northwest Passage. But of course, you have to do it twice just to really do it properly.
So, Tim and Carol, we were chatting with you earlier on. You're on board Lumina, I think. Is that correct? Have I got that right?
Yeah, we're on Lumina in Port Ross, and we had the privilege of having Bob on board for a week or so when we started out in Scotland.
Okay,
they
so
still managed to do it.
The last week or so, last time we chatted, you were still in Greenland, I think, which was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? You were...
yeah. We
were heading across.
We came across the Pond Inlet about a fortnight ago. Well, we were actually on that last Zoom. We were on our way across.
Yeah, and what sort of a passage did you have? How did you get on in Pond Inlet? Much ice there? There was talk about maybe being closed last week. How did you find that?
The main ice that we have had, as everybody else has, is in Prince Regent.
Right.
A lot of ice up at the top end there, and the ice charts haven't been particularly helpful. But everybody found their way through, I think. So, but it's very cold and miserable up in. We've come here from Beachy Island, and very miserable and cold up there. Lots of snow, and strong winds too.
Okay. So, Hank, you're on board Taina.
You're making me laugh. Say it. Come on, you can say it. Tiama.
Yeah, right.
Tiama.
Bellot Strait, haven't you? You dodged the ice to the Bellot Straits. How was that?
What was the question? Sorry.
You've gone through the Bellot Straits now.
Okay. Yes, that's right. Yeah. We were a bit earlier than everybody else crossing over to Canada, and then we went to Beachy Island. We had nice weather there actually, and it was really a nice visit. Then we went to Resolute and we refueled, and that was also quite an interesting visit. And they're all very friendly there, and and then we went Prince Regent and met that ice that everybody's met. And Bellot Strait, and I was all sort of primed for Bellot Strait and for ice. But then when we approached, it was all the ice charts all came clear, it was all clear. So I was primed because last time I was through here, it was in 2017 with Tiama. We had on the, I think the 24th of August, we had a lot of ice coming through, and it was quite a struggle, and I got a ding in the hull to prove it. But so we came through in not last night, but the night before, and it was totally clear. I mean, we took the evening tide, and it was also still was neap tide. At the moment, they're still in the tides are getting stronger, but I think it's still pretty in this sort of neap tide range. So the tides weren't that strong flowing, so so it was good. So it was all clear, and we just it was a beautiful passage. We had dinner on board while we sailed through.
So what is the tidal strength in the Bellot Straits, or what can it go at in springs?
It can be 7 or 8 knots, which is too much for a small boat to battle against. So in my opinion, and then if there's a lot of ice, it becomes very dangerous, and then there's that Magpie Rock in the beginning. But you see whirlpools. It's in the strait itself. You can see them. And even if there was ice or ice, you can still see them because the ice is going. But now this time there was no ice around, but there's still tidal currents especially on the more on the southern coast. I think the northern coast is maybe a little bit easier, but that's what we did anyway. We stayed,
Yep.
you know, a couple of cables off the northern coast, and there was, and then okay, you see some little whirls of tide rips and, you know, small standing waves, you know, with tide, wind against tide, but we had a very easy time of it, really, and we didn't meet that lot much current, you know, maybe 3 knots, 2 knots, 3 knots, sometimes against us, sometimes with us. So we, you know, it was yeah, and then we came out, and then we had to make up a mind, and it was looking really, the weather was looking favorable to go down to Victoria, through to Victoria Strait, and so we decided to take that opportunity and sail, and so we then started sailing, and that was nice, and it was a nice evening and night, and in the morning, and then I met the Coast Guard vessel, the
Henry Larson.
the Henry Larson. Yeah, we met them. They were escorting a ship coming through, so they were just escorting them through Victoria Strait, actually. So I talked to the mate on watch, or the captain, I don't know who it was, but the person on watch anyway, and asked them about Victoria Strait, and they said, he said, he said, oh yeah, it's relatively easy, you know, it's only 5/10. And I just said, oh really? Yeah. He said, yeah. I said, only 5/10. He said, yeah, it was relatively easy. Yeah. He said, oh, okay. He said, yeah, he said, I wouldn't take a small yacht through there, you know, without an escort. I said, oh, okay then, you know. I mean, anyway, we stopped, and then had a wee scratch of our heads, and then
Another ice chart came.
yeah, we got another ice chart, you know, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
The ice chart actually looked worse than the one before, and I was talking to Victor all the time. Thank you, Victor, for your backing me up.
That's
there.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that was great. And there's somebody to chat to. But anyway, we decided to turn back and come all the way back up again, 50 mile back to. I don't like turning back. It's not my thing to do, you know. But anyway, sometimes that's what you do. You know, you just turn back because it didn't look good. And I think now that maybe Victor will have an opinion on that better than I have. But we just hope that subtly might do something there. Anyway, we're just waiting here. Yeah,
Okay.
for a day or
Thank you very much.
2 days.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. I'm going to move across to Tom. Tom, last time we chatted, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and you were in a hotel room in Ilulissat, but I don't think you're there anymore. You've moved on. Where are you now?
Right. Yes. I had 3 cancelled flights from Ilulissat back to Arsiat, where the boat was, and yeah, on the 3rd flight I gave in, and I'd been given a really useful Facebook page where people from Arsiat put up a note if they're going from one town to the other in their boats, and managed to hitch a ride with somebody back to Arsiat, which was good. Then we went up to Ilulissat very briefly, or no, we didn't go to Ilulissat actually. We went outside Disco Island up to Upernavik and refueled there, which was interesting because there was a crane jib positioned directly over the refueling dock at a height just about a foot above the top of our mast, I reckon. But anyway, we managed to get refueled and off again. And came across straight to Pond Inlet.
Okay.
So that was pretty straightforward. Pond Inlet, we went from there to is it Burnett Inlet? Chris, Burnett Inlet, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice, and we met up with the entire contingent of Garcias. So all 3 of us were up there, spent some time. And then in bits and drabs the day before yesterday, we left and came across here. And I think we've all encountered quite a nice, gave me quite a bit of photo opportunity with animals and ice flows, which was nice. And now we're all in Fort Ross.
Good, very good. And Adriano, I think you were off the coast of Disco, or like that, when we last chatted a couple of weeks ago, or you were just leaving Asiat, I think, or
Right, right. We left Asiat and spent the better part of a day in Disco Bay, marveling at the icebergs, and sailed outside of Disco Island up the coast and decided to just cross over to Pond Inlet without stopping in Upernavik. We had enough fuel, we could sail apart, and also met the ice up there, which was actually quite accurate on the ice chart, so we maneuvered around it. Met a couple of other boats in Pond Inlet, refueled, which actually was very easy. You can order it at Coop, and they bring it with a truck and fill it with a hose at the pier. So it's no more jerry can business. Then we went to Cape Pat, where I got told off by Randall, and to Tay Bay, and to Burnett Inlet, as we have heard already. And all three are fabulous anchorages, really, really nice. All very different in their character. And now we're down here. I guess that we all saw the ice jar coming out the last, and the stampede started. Everybody got nervous and rushed to here. So we're all piled up here and are interested in hearing how it goes on.
Thank you, Adriano. So I'm going to go to you next, Victor. So we've got
maybe something to add. This morning, a big cargo ship came through. Actually, there are quite a number of big ships. There is a star ship here, and a big cargo ship came through, and they were chatting. And the cargo ship said they had 0 ice in Bellot Strait. So that's good to know. That was as of this morning.
Yeah, Adriano. So I'm going to go to you, Victor, now. So can you fill us in, Victor, where the other boats that aren't online tonight? So Tor, Moli, and Abel Tasman. I think Abel Tasman's gone through the Bellot Straits, but where is Tor and where is Moli at the moment?
Oh, Moli is, as I mentioned, he's heading west, and he's just about to enter Coronation to Cambridge Bay. And he had actually some opposite winds, and probably still a little bit of it. And but the things are turning up. Right behind him is a famed Open 60 dog bark. That's a U.S. entry. I helped that entry in 2018, and that year was kind of very terrible. Only 2 boats actually made a crossing in that year. Okay, and the rest of it just pulled out. But anyways, and that Open 60 is very speedy. It can do like 250 miles a day. Okay, providing it has a good winds, obviously. Okay, but previously we had a mixed crew. Now it's only men and very keen racing people. But anyways, well, the captain is very good navigator. He actually worked in Alaska for many years in the fishing industry. So, and he knows what the sailing is. So those 2 entries I'm talking about right now, and I'm expecting Randall should reach the Cambridge Bay in about maybe a day and a half or something, and then obviously they were planned much earlier, and Hank is also aware of that, of going through McClure, but lack of ice information over there. Actually, we all decided to hold it, and very thankfully, because really it looks McClure actually will never open this year. So that's the situation.
interesting.
Okay, so that way, all those Westerners will be going through traditional ways, either through Joe Haven or through Victoria Strait, but there are definite delays as per present 30-day outlook. Anything supposed to open after 20th of August. And predominantly the route through Joe Haven, James Ross, or there will be a critical corner, and also the southwest corner of Victoria Strait. So that's a major block that we can see. The Finnish boat at the present is in the northwest corner of Victoria Strait, and they're just waiting for the things to change. Okay, while we have a hanging at the Cunningham Bay, which is actually Franklin Strait, and he'll be probably sitting there impatiently.
A little bit, not too bad.
Well, anyway, so that's basically the briefing is so far it looks like the deadline is the 20th of August, so it's only like what 4 days type of thing, if we can hold it. And the and if that will be a true, okay, because with the weather you cannot really put the clock to it.
Do you think?
And
Can you just fill me in? Where is Tor? Where's Tor at the moment?
I think he's in Tay Bay.
Well, they are in the eastern Lancaster.
Okay, so I'll
They
bring it.
started very late from Pont Inlet, just holding. When they would hit the real Arctic, they have probably an opportunity of not seeing any ice. Hold your breath. So that's a one way, where we see too much ice and suddenly there is no ice. Okay, yes, there were some years 2011, some boats never used the engine for crossing.
Ross.
So that's the way it goes.
I'm just going to bring up your ice chart just now, Victor, if I can. Oh, I can't see it. Documents.
Yeah.
Where is it? Can't see it.
Can I ask a question, Victor?
Yeah.
Ask you a question, Victor. So, do you think that these southerlies that we're having over the next 2 days would shift any of that ice in Victoria Strait?
Well, there is a possibility, because the way the ice is shifting towards southeast, which is actually not very good. But even if it will be heading northwest, it will not be any good either. Okay, so we have to just wait for some kind of magic, and just hold, for obvious reason. While so far, the way all that mechanism is happening, it looks like more or less a northwest trace of Victoria Strait, and maybe hugging Victoria Island and going obviously through Icebreaker Channel. So and it's anything west of Jenny Lind. So I could see that route that way, obviously. Okay, but anything in between King William and Jenny Lind, it's always very difficult. And they okay, thank you, Simon, for that chart. And we could see some greeny colors on the north the northeast and the southwest ends of the Victoria and Larsen. Yes, that's a summary. Yeah. Anyway, so the way the ice is actually moving, you know, it looks like it's pretty well all around. Okay, you know, as you see, some is moving northeast, but there is no ice over there. Okay, so there will be some maybe shifts, but it's only at 5 miles a day, so it's not much. But even that 2 miles a day on the west side, that shift actually to close the road. Okay, so as a mechanism, and as you can see very clearly on the east side, south towards south, that's where James Ross is. It's very heavy ice.
Yeah. So you reckon, what is, you say that beginning part again, but you reckon the route is closer to
well, it's the outlook says it's in between 15th and 20th of August.
Yeah.
It will be all closed up. Okay, and after it will get into only some outskirts of getting 4 to 610 ice. That will not be much of a concern to us. Okay, so it will be like a McClintock, passage. That's where all that ice is coming from. Okay, so that's the way it goes, and I have seen many tricks in James Ross, and it will be looking tragic there, and like a day or 2 days later, it's all open. So, the traditional routes, hiding in the World Harbor or Paisley, that always makes sense just to spend a few days. But right now, it doesn't even give opportunity to be there. Okay, so that's a lengthy problem. Okay, and that length is expressed in days, unfortunately. So, but anyways, yeah, okay.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
You mentioned that we should hold out here at Depot Bay for a while. How long do you think this is advantageous versus going through and waiting in where Hank is or in Willis Bay?
Well, let's put it this way. Historically, as the sailors are always persistent, the way I remember in the old days, some wait time right in Brentford Bay would be like even 2 weeks. Okay, very boring time. Okay, and I could see your face. Okay, but in this time, I could only vision maybe another 4 or 5 days, and the things should start clearing up on either end, either on the west, just going straight through Victoria, or maybe James Ross who relax. So that's the way, just remember, what was it, 2 years ago? Yes, 2 years ago, the huge storm came in Larsen and Victoria, and it actually initially centered right there, that low, and a few boats actually ended up at Paisley Bay, and all that ice was blown right there, and some guys who were just jumping from one ice floe to another right on the shore. Okay, it was such a big ice pressure there. Okay, and unfortunately those boats were kind of strong boats and they withstand it, but in such a bay the ice pressure will not be huge, more to be like in the open water, quote unquote. and that's a scenario I can see. So anyways,
So it's advantageous to wait here.
yeah. So anyways, so still I stress, what we can do is just to try to believe in that paper, and it says in the magic day of 20th of August. Okay, so maybe to slip a day or two. Typically they are pretty well right on. Okay, I should say. Okay, but with the daily reports, it's actually every day repeats the same. Okay, they just say 210, 210, okay, and it's day after day. So that doesn't give us much of the smile. Okay, so that's the way it goes.
And Peel Sound is now open, or what is there? Because on the animation chart from the Canadians, it's now all open, but they still don't publish data.
Well, the north end is closed. That's a Bellot Strait, okay, and it's all clogged up over there, okay. While the access to Resolute is actually there, okay. The strip of just about free water, okay. So, but the south part of the Bellot Strait is all full of ice, and all that ice comes from with a northwest wind, the wind through McClure, Viscount Melville into the Barrow, and to Peel and Mucklington, okay, and it fills Larsen and Victoria Strait. So that's a mechanism.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. Anybody else got any questions for Victor while we got him online? Great, Victor.
Oh,
do you want to hook up again, Victor? What if so, when would you think the best planned time would be to do that? I guess.
Well, as I said again, it will be another 4 or 5 days. We should see the change, okay, and hopefully it will be positive change. That way I can feel it, okay. And well, I tell you, historically, there was just about no year when there will be no battle in Larsen and Victoria, okay, primarily in Larsen, okay, and many people have spent the days over there, and they're waiting for things, and they just into no end. So that's a picture.
So maybe aim to connect in a week's time. Do you think 7 days?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Bob, our special guest from Appin, and
thank you. Great
many hugs to Bob. Many hugs to Bob.
Going to be in the Zoom next week. Is that right, Bob?
Okay. Yeah. Lovely to see you.
Great. Thanks very much for hooking in, everybody. And
thank you.
Cheers now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you, Bob.
See you.